Hey, so happy you're here. I'm so excited to share this piece. It was quite a marathon, and this was in two pieces. This was a piece I found on the side of the road. It was broken, and I fixed it, and I'm very excited about it. This is Sophia. She's actually not our dog, but one of the dogs that stays with us because as I am also an artist, I am also a dog sitter. So we take care of a lot of people's dogs as well. So I am really happy with the layering on this. And I added a lot of clay molds to the sides of these and to the this mirror. So this mirror was plain, and you'll see the befores of all this as I go through how I made it. And I'm just thinking it's a really spectacular piece. It was really not in terrible condition when I got it, considering how old it is. And I got these really awesome knobs over at Hobby Lobby. The ones down here I painted to be that color. They were more of a bronzy color, and I think those really go with it well. So very nice. Another piece saved from the landfill. And so now we will get on to all that I did to it. This piece and the mirror piece it's going to be a long video unless we split it into two. I'm not sure. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, this is what she looked like when I picked her up on the side of the road. We've got a broken leg. We are very scratched up. We're missing handles. Some of the drawers needed some sanding and repair. The drawer things in between. So all that got worked on. And then here's where I put the side trim on, and I'm showing you how the clay shrinks. So once that's dry, I'll go back in and fill that in so that you don't have those cracks there, and it all looks like one piece, and it's really super cool. And uh, there, I have lots of other videos of me using these molds with the air dry clay and gluing them down. So you've got plenty of those to look back at and see if you need a tutorial of that. Here are the brushes that I used for this. There's some stencil brushes and some large flat brushes. And this is chalk paint that's going on there now. So you can see I'm using 3 different colors of brushes to get this blending going. So each brush has a color on it. And as I go back in and blend, I'm going to kind of blend the dark into the lighter colors and then back and forth. And I just kind of play with it and add more paint as I go. There's no real science to it. It's just, I kind of feel it out and see how I like the colors and how they're blending. It's really good with the chalk paint because it does put a pretty thick coat of paint. And as you can see, I did put a layer of primer on this actually before, just so that it would block out the dark color, and then my colors would, when I painted them on, would be brighter because it had a lighter color underneath. So now I let this dry 24 hours, so it was nice and dry. And I spent a lot of time cutting out and placing where I wanted all my collage pieces to go. And this is just regular printer paper and an inkjet printer. So it's really nothing fancy. I know there's a lot of different types of things you can buy on the internet, and those are great too. It's really nice to have things that are already ready to go. I just didn't happen to have anything. So I enjoy looking up images and printing them out and sizing them. Um, and then I use Mod Podge. On this one, I can't remember. I think I used the glossy because I wanted it overall to be glossy so it looked like water. And I just start gluing them down and making sure they're nice and flat on there. I press it. I use my hands a lot. Mod Podge is a very safe type of material, so not um, it's not toxic in any way. So you can kind of just really get in there and you know get your Mod Podge down and get your hands into it if you need to get some of the wrinkles out and stuff. But pretty much when I'm decoupaging, I feel like it's kind of part of the texture as some of the wrinkles as well. So I don't really mind that look. I think it looks nice. Once my Mod Podge is on, I do let that dry also overnight to cure, and then I can come in with my stencils. And when you're using stencils, you're going to not overload your stencil brush with too much paint. I was using the chalk paint. It's very nice and thick, so it goes on really nice and dark. And I'm just sort of weaving in and out of my fish. It kind of looks like seaweed and patterns. and I think it looks really good in this ocean scene. So I just kind of picked stencils that I thought went with the overall design. And you can see this is just the same thing with just layers of me painting around the collage objects and then putting the stencils over the top with some different colors. So you got different colors and layers of things, and I think it turned out really good. I had bought this foam trim that's supposed to go around the bottom of, like, say, your wall. And I think that it must be meant to be used white because I did paint over this. And once I had it on my project, every time I touched it, the paint would literally crack and flake off. So I don't know if I did it incorrectly or if I needed to put a primer down to hold it on, but I do think that the flexibility of this is not like wood and it doesn't work as well for this type of project. If you had white walls or matching walls, I think it would probably look great. Or if you had a project you were doing white, you might be able to stain it or wash it, but I don't know that putting like a layer of paint on this particular thing will work. So instead, I went ahead and did molds. And I took that, this is the area where I took it off of. And this area was damaged. So I did need to put something here, whether it be a piece of wood or something. So this did take me quite a bit of extra time to do this. See me struggling with getting the clay out of there. But I think that it really added to the piece. And, you know, as long as people are careful when they move it, you know, it is a piece of clay and it is ceramic and I put several coats of paint over it, but if it got dropped or run into a wall, it is a possibility that this could crack, but it can also be fixed pretty easily with air dry clay as well. So I don't know. There's ups and downsides to using air dry clay. It does help you be like really creative, but it's not as hard as say something like resin. I think that if I was doing a piece like this again, I might prepare this in resin or a piece in resin, or maybe, you know, go get a piece of wood. But sometimes I'm just get so tired of running to Home Depot all the time. So I'm like, I'll just make my own, you know, it'll be fun. It'll be creative. And it is, it looks great, but I think probably more practical would be if I did it with wood or resin. But anyways, you'll see the finished product and it turned out really great.